And welcome back to First Move live from Tokyo. You can call it a welcome example of friends helping friends and the importance of global solidarity during wartime. Here in Tokyo on Monday, Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida met with his Ukrainian counterpart and other Ukrainian officials and pledged more than $100 million in Japanese aid for Ukrainian reconstruction projects in areas like energy and transportation. Kishida, who is limited to some degree in his ability to send military aid to Ukraine, called today's announcement, quote, an investment in the future. Japan, which has pledged more than $10 billion in aid for Ukraine during the war so far, is Ukraine's fourth largest national donor. The Japanese Prime Minister saying today his country will stand by Ukraine until the war is over and beyond. Here to discuss Monday's agreements and more, as well as the state of the situation in the war with Russia, Ukraine's Finance Minister Sergei Marchenko, who is part of the Ukrainian delegation here in Tokyo for those talks. Finance Minister, great to have you on the show. Long journey here, of course, made more complicated, of course, by the war. Talk to me about the importance of the support from the Japanese people and the government today.
You know, it's very important because now it's a very crucial times when a lot of reluctance towards Ukraine, what is going on, and it's necessary to show signals of support. Despite of all countries, G7 should support Ukraine, and I think that Japan has shown great leadership when they were leading G7 last year, and right now they also have shown good example how different prosperous countries should react to the situation in Ukraine.
I mean, I mentioned that we've seen a number of deals signed in the agricultural sector, in the energy sector. What portion of this is loans versus grants, and when will you see the money coming? Because I think that's the crucial question.
Now it's intentions. Some is money, some is promises. But I know that sometimes commitments we can create in disbursement, so it's like a typical way of thinking. I don't think that we will fail, but we in a good pace. So I praise all deals which were signed because it means that we have cooperated with each other. You know, we're far away from Japan. We signed 56 deals for one particular meetings. It means that we create a lot of mutual beneficial trust between our business, between our government and the government of Japan.
I think you raise a very important point, which is that the Japanese people, and certainly in this part of the world, they could look at this and say, this is someone else's war. We don't have to participate, we don't have to provide support. And that's, I think, a conscious choice and a statement that they're choosing to make. You still have a $3.5 billion a month financial shortfall based on the spending, the sheer spending that you're doing on defense and on security. Have you written off the prospect of getting more American support agreed by US Congress, or are you still hopeful it comes?
You know, we hope, and I believe that all commitments we receive from administration give us enough optimism to wait until the right moment to be, because I think it will be. I believe in wisdom of Congress, and I believe that it will come, because otherwise it will be another choices from our own. We already have to do necessary steps to substitute some of sources of money, because we need rounds and ammunition. You know, if we haven't have this, we should purchase it. There is no other way.
Can you fight this war without American money, truthfully?
You know, you ask me a very painful question. Of course we will, but it's a question of general ability to fight in equal chances. Because if you'll have no support, if you'll less support, it means that we'll have less chances to win this war.
President Biden said over the weekend, when he heard about the situation in Avdiivka, he directly said it's a consequence of America's inability to agree in US Congress to provide more money to Ukraine. Do you agree with that? I know you're the finance minister, but can you agree that there are direct battlefield consequences of friends, supportive nations around the world not standing with Ukraine in this battle and providing financial support, further financial support?
Yes, I think so. Also, I can agree with statements of President Zelensky that it's necessary, because if we haven't have enough rounds and ammunition in a battlefield, it means that we can lose part of our territory, we can surrender, because we want to protect our people, the life of our soldiers, and that's why we should do some steps which prevent us to be competitive in the battlefield. That's why it's necessary to have money to purchase this necessary rounds and ammunition. We don't ask military support other ways. We just ask to help us to get this battlefield chances equal. Because if Russia has necessary rounds and ammunition, they got it. They got it from other nations. You know, they can produce it.
It's a long way between now and November, but one of the topical questions I keep getting asked here, as someone who lives in the United States, is what do you think about the US presidential election, and will President Trump return to the White House? What does that mean for Ukraine in your mind? Does that lower the chances perhaps of further support from the United States for Ukraine? How are you thinking about that? Because you have to plan financially for what the future brings, even if you don't know.
I don't know.
No.
And I prefer not to think about the future elections in the United States. I prefer to think what we should do if in our country, how to find different solutions, how to prepare strategy for Ukraine. That's why, sorry, I can't be part of this discussion.
I understand.
I think it should be people of the United States who can decide who can be their president.
As a member of the government, can I ask you something that Nick Payton-Walsh, my colleague, mentioned just a few moments ago on air, and I believe you were listening. He talked about morale. And as you said, and I know it's tough because you have friends, family members who continue to fight in this war too. Is morale holding up, whether it's for Ukrainian people or for the soldiers in the face of the challenges, financial, military?
You know, it's a very good question. You can ask me, Sergey, what's helped you to be in a good mood, stay strong? It's only one understanding. I have no other motherhood land. It's my land. My parents live there. My children live there. And otherwise, I would fight, or we should find other motherland. We have no other choice. You know, for us, we can't even discuss it. Either with support, or without support, we will fight.
And nothing changes that.
Nothing changed for us. Of course, it's like 2 years of war. It's not an easy. But you know, now in Tokyo, the best sunset in the world in Tokyo. That's why we believe that this sunrise and sunset help us to be like to prevail in this war.
Funnily enough, the sun just came out, so I hope that's a good sign.
At least light,
I know. Safe travels home. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Sergei Marchenko there, the Finance Minister of Ukraine.